Hey everybody, it's Dr. Sashi. It is Sunday and it is raining in my neck of the woods, so excuse the background, but I'm trying to play with the light. Hi everyone, it's Dr. Sasheen here. As always, it is my pleasure to be coming at you live. You know those straight hair things again? Coming to you live from a rainy, very, very rainy spot in the northeast corner of the United States. It's so rainy today, which is not a bad thing because it was really cold and snowy a few days ago. So the fact that we are now rainy and moderately warm in the 40s is not a bad thing. So just to give everyone a chance to find me, I'm going to make sure I'm actually live. It's a little dark today. Mother Nature does her thing, so I'm not going to complain. I'm just going to make sure I'm actually live and in color. There I am. There I am. And where am I at here? Let's change this over to post. So this isn't going to be a long broadcast today. As I said, it's Sunday afternoon here, and I'd like to spend some more time with my kiddos. So I'm definitely not going to spend a ton of time, but I want to come in and talk today about the power of your purpose and how it is actually greater than the power of your passion. So I've been talking all last week about this idea of purpose, passion, or gifts. Like what is the thing that you're supposed to be following on that great trek down the what am I going to do with my life, or what should I do with my life next, actually, because that's really more what I'm focused on is what am I going to do with my life next. A lot of us have been on a certain path, and you reach a point where some logical questions start to come up about, well, do I want to continue doing what I'm doing, or is it time to figure out what I want to do next? Sorry about this swaying thing. That should take care of it. What do I want to do next? So we're going to talk about two things today. Like I said, I'm going to keep this relatively short because it's Sunday and I want y'all to go have a good time. But normally on Sunday nights, I talk about the dread of Monday morning. And what I realize is that scientifically proven part about the dread of Monday morning, that's a scientific proof. But there's also another scientific proof, and that is when you decide to no longer dread Mondays and do something different, you no longer dread Monday mornings. And so the fact of the matter is too many of us are still laboring under this idea that we can't do anything about where we are. And so we just dread the Monday that reminds us of what we didn't get done last week or what we didn't do over the weekend, or it just reinforces or reminds us of what's coming and how much we really just don't want to do it anymore. So today I want to talk a little bit more about, from all my car videos, about what it is you should be following and why you have to stop worrying and focusing on being multi-passionate and driving yourself multi-crazy. So let's talk. First things first, what is the difference between all of these things? In a lot of conversations, a lot of the time when I'm talking to people, I hear this idea that if I just follow my passion, and people say, if you just follow your passion, the money will follow, or if you just follow your passion, happiness will follow, or follow your passion and bliss will follow. And that's true if your passion and purpose are in alignment together, because your passion, which is this intense desire for something that you love and it makes you feel good, or you enjoy doing it, or you enjoy having it, or you enjoy experiencing it, or you enjoy eating it. That's why we can all be multi-passionate, right? But this idea that somehow that translates into a purpose that's going to allow you to create a life is a fallacy. And the reason it's a fallacy is because if you think about it, what I was just saying, we all have multiple passions. And all of those passions aren't necessarily our purpose for life. So when we tell people to follow their passion and they will find their happiness, what we really are trying to say to people is identify your purpose. And your purpose and your passion are not always the same things. We'll talk about gifts here in a second. Your purpose and your passion are not always the same things. The power comes in knowing your purpose. Your passion can align with that purpose, or it cannot, because what's really more important is your gift. You can be multiply passionate about something and have zero gifts at making it happen. I'll give you a great example. I am passionate about tennis. I love tennis. I watch tennis whenever I can. If I'm not catching it on TV, I have tennis apps on my phone. Like, I am a hardcore tennis fan. If you will ever talk to my father, he will tell you that I am a hardcore tennis fan. I've been watching tennis since I was a little girl. I cannot play tennis worth a damn. Nope. Not a thing. It's not happening. No one wants to see me try to hit a tennis ball. I have attempted to hit a tennis ball. It is kind of like an albatross dancing, maybe. I'm not really sure how the best way to describe it, but let's just say no one wants to see me play tennis. But I am passionate about it. Passionate to the point where I plan to take my child to tennis matches, whether he wants to go or not. Passionate to the point where I follow certain players year round. Like that break that they have at the end of the year drives me nuts because there's no tennis going on. Passionate enough to give money to certain causes to further tennis courts and tennis programs because I love that. I am not gifted at playing tennis. Nope. So it would never occur to me to pursue a passion of playing tennis because that would make me a passionate failure, which is passionate, but not quite what I'm going for. But what I am is passionate about a love of giving back. And so for me, the fact that some of my greatest tennis heroes are also philanthropists who work in fields that are important to me and have foundations where I can actually give something aligns with my purpose. So my passion for tennis and my purpose for giving back are actually in alignment. And my gift in that area is the ability to give of money or sometimes time to support that passion. But I would never pursue tennis. I wouldn't be a tennis coach, physio, a tennis player, none of those things. So my passion and love for a certain sport does not translate into a purpose for my life, nor does it translate into something that I'm gifted at. You starting to see where I'm going with this? This idea is really powerful because when you start to realize that what your purpose here is what's most important about your life, then what you begin to realize is that you can have multiple passions, but we tend to have singular purpose. Most great entrepreneurs and great business owners and great people who are great at their career or vocational choice are great because they have a singular focus. They have a purpose that is so defined and minute and clear that they don't waver from that. And everything that they do that aligns them with their purpose brings them success. It's also what they're gifted at. Let's bring gifts onto the table. When we're gifted at something, and it's not always the thing that we're passionate about, when we're gifted at something, when we know we are really good at something, and I'm defining gifts as the thing that you do so well, you could do it in your sleep. It's like breathing. It's so easy for you. For me, one of the things I'm very gifted at is learning. I can pick up things really fast, which makes it wonderful that I happen to be a teacher because the ability to pull in different ideas and to assimilate those things really allows me to bring certain subjects that might normally be kind of boring to life because I like learning and I like teaching those things out to people. I am gifted at that, something I'm very passionate about as well. But my purpose is to find ways to make what I have learned understandable and make it a roadmap for others to follow so they can cut through some of the BS and some of the hardness and have an easier path to their passion. That's what I'm here, that easier path. So let's talk a bit now about the power behind your purpose. When you identify your purpose, let's put passion to the side. When you begin to identify your purpose, and you really begin, I have notes, y'all. This is the teacher in me. I have notes. When you begin to really identify your purpose, or when you know you haven't identified your purpose, let's start there. When you know you haven't actually identified your purpose, you feel certain things. So chances are, if you are sitting in your job or in your business and you're saying, or even in your life, and you're like, I feel a sense of disconnect. I'm not really sure. I feel like I've been doing the same thing, but I'm not connected to it. I don't feel as though it's really that thing. I can't put my finger on it, Sasheen, but I feel like it's not quite that thing that I'm supposed to be doing. That means you're out of alignment with your purpose. Because when you follow passion sometimes, it leads us to a place of disconnect. One of the most beautiful things about a passion, especially if you love it, is that you love it because it's something that you want to do, but it's not required out of you. When you turn your passion into your vocation, you better keep on loving it. And you better find ways to keep it as passionate as it was the day you started. Because trying to turn passion into vocation means that you also have a purpose for that passion. And when I hear clients say, I feel so disconnected from this thing, I simply ask them, what's the purpose of doing this? What is the purpose now for doing this? Because it might mean that you did have a purpose for this that's no longer relevant. Or you never actually had a purpose for this, but you followed a passion because it was Well, I like this thing, so I'm going to go do this thing and see where it leads. Well, it has led to the end of the road because you're no longer passionate about it. I had a great example on one of my lives. It was Layla who said it, and she's like, I have really a great passion for kayaking. I love to do it. I wouldn't want to run a kayaking school. I wouldn't want to teach kayaking. I wouldn't want to take clients out kayaking. I hear this a lot. I have a passion for cooking. I wouldn't want to cook for everybody, though. I wouldn't want to own a bakery, or I don't want to own a catering service, and I don't want to do that. It's important to understand that just because you have a passion for something and you could be good at it doesn't mean that you have to be good at it. When you feel disconnect in your vocation or your life or your chosen career, it's because you are now not living in your purpose. And living in your purpose is what brings us fire, right? It's what lights us up. And we see that in the great people, kind of the great examples of the day who are living in their purpose, and they are killing it, right? Like they are rocking it on all cylinders. Who springs to mind immediately is Michelle Obama and her book tour of Becoming. That woman's a born speaker. Like, she is phenomenal. Her purpose, to me, is just abundantly clear. She is someone whom we're going to be watching for a long time to come, because in her messaging is her purpose, which is to make life better, to become better human beings, to bring the world to a better place than it is currently. That is her purpose. And good news, she is really gifted at communication and the ability to reach masses. So her purpose and her gifts are in beautiful alignment, and her passion for humanity comes through every time. That's what happens when we live in our purpose. That's what happens when we recognize our purpose and our gifts are going to get us a lot further than our passion for something that might fade over time. And that's okay if it does, because that's why we can be multi-passionate, because we can pursue different things. The other piece to this is that feeling of, is this all there is? I hear this a lot too. Like, you've reached a place in your career, in your life, or in your business, you're like, is this it? Like, is this legit? If I died tomorrow, is this all there is? That means, again, you have reached a place of disconnect. And that disconnect starts to feel like a chafing, a constriction, like a cage. Even the most beautiful cage is still a cage, right? And so that feeling of, that questioning feeling that sometimes starts on Sunday night of, is this all there is a clear indication that your purpose is out of alignment. Your purpose is not where it's supposed to be. And if you're asking the question of, is this all there is? The answer is, well, of course this isn't all there is, but it might mean it's time to reassess and to understand what's next for you. What is the next step? Are your passions that led you to one place still in alignment with your purpose, or is it time to move and shift and reevaluate what your purpose is going to be, what your purpose might be? Now, here's the thing. I'm going to get a lot of blowback that says, hey, Belinda, I'm going to get a lot of blowback from people who are going to indicate and say things like, but I love to do X. And I'm going to say, that's great. Are you happy doing X? Does X give you financial security, relational security, emotional security? Do you feel as though that X is going to sustain you? Are you ready to take X to the next level? And if the answer to any of those questions is, well, not sure, then I would say it's time to reassess your purpose. What are you doing? Why are you there? Because again, when we're in alignment with our passion, purpose, and gifts, we are actually changing the world, whether that world be the world of one person at a time right in front of you, or an entire world stage. So going back to my example of Michelle Obama, because I'm going to talk about her today, because she's phenomenal. When she decided to write the book Becoming, I don't know that she said, my purpose in life is to be an author. That isn't her purpose. Her purpose in life is to reach as many people as she can with her message of what it means to become more fully who you are on the planet. That message is going to look like so many different things, right? Right now, it looks like a book and a book tour. It also looks like running symposiums and running conferences and touring with her husband. It looks like all kinds of things, but her purpose is to make sure that message of becoming and being fully human on this planet together and striving to a higher level, that purpose is never going to waver regardless of the medium that she chooses to work in. And that's what I want you to understand. Regardless of the way that you choose to exercise your gift at something, as long as your purpose doesn't waver, you can do many things. That is not the same as being multi-passionate. Multi-passionate people tend to be multi-stressed out. When you are pursuing so many passions without a clear sense of what your purpose is, you're just stressing yourself out. You're literally just stressing yourself out. And then you know this is happening to you because a couple of things start to take place. One, you start to procrastinate. You start putting off things. You don't want to work on things. Oh, I'm just going to check Facebook for 5 minutes, and 5 hours later, you're down the rabbit hole. I'm going to post on Instagram for just a few minutes, and then 3 hours later, you're down the rabbit hole. I'm going to just watch a couple of videos on YouTube and kill a little bit of time, and the next thing you know, half your day is gone. So procrastination is kind of the number one signal that you are living out of alignment. But there are other subtle signals. Number two is the myth of multitasking. When we are not living in our focus and we're not living in our purpose, we start multitasking. Oh, I can do 50 things at one time. What multitasking hides, which is beautiful because we like it that way, but what it hides is actually the fact that we don't necessarily do any one thing really, really well. We don't do it well enough to go, oh, I do that thing over there really, really well, but I'm not really passionate about that thing. So I'm going to pretend like I don't do that thing really well. I'm going to work on 50 things and pretend like I'm doing a lot of really great things and I'm really not getting anything done. Multitasking is a myth. It is not something that anyone's really good at. It sounds really good, and someone's going to argue back and say, no, 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 I can multitask. I can do this. You should see me. I'm fantastic with multitasking. No, you're actually not, because I guarantee you that if you are on the phone, having a conversation, driving your car, and having a meal, you haven't tasted your food, the person on the phone with knows you're distracted, chances are you're driving all over the road, and I can go on. We don't do multiple things very well, but we trick ourselves into thinking that we do, so we don't have to focus on just one thing. I want you to stop and think this Sunday as the Sunday rolls into Monday, and hopefully we'll get some clear skies soon, but I'm going to wrap this up. I want you to think about that. It is Sunday. If you are living in your purpose, if you are on fire jazzed about what's happening on Monday, your gifts and your purpose are probably in alignment. You are ready to go. You know what you want to achieve in life. You know what the goals are going to be. You know where you want it. You see yourself down the road doing this thing, and you are so excited about it that you can barely wait to get up tomorrow morning. If that is you, turn me off now, because you don't need to talk to me anymore. But if that is not you, and you've been chasing the dream of, I got to follow my passion, or I'm pursuing my passion, but you're feeling that sense of disconnect. You're feeling that sense of, I need to know if there's more to life than just this, then it's time to start thinking about how to make Monday morning the day you get started on the rest of your life. Because it is, in fact, the day you get started on the rest of your life. All right, I told you I'd keep this under 20 minutes, and I promise to keep my promises to you. If you haven't picked up the imposter syndrome checklist to see if you are, in fact, suffering from a little bit of disconnect from your purpose and engaging in some destructive behaviors, because when we're disconnected from our purpose and we're not living out of our gifts, we start to believe that perhaps we don't belong, and we start engaging in destructive behaviors that I like to call the imposter syndrome. I'll drop the link for that over in the comments. Feel free to pick it up. It's free. But if that's where you are, I encourage you to start really thinking about what's next. What do you want to do next? 3 questions for you to ponder. Why am I doing what I'm doing? How can I do something different? And the most important one, is this all there is? And if your answer to is this all there is, yeah, I think it might be, let me be the first to tell you that it's not. All right, everybody, it's Dr. Sasheen here. I am signing off on this Sunday. I'm going to go play with my kid. Thanks for tuning in. If you catch me on the replay, leave me a comment. If you have any questions, drop them down below, and I'll get back to you. Thanks for everyone who watched. It was a fantastic broadcast, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye now.